Well, good morning. Happy Friday to everyone. I'm glad you guys could join me. As most of you know, Margie's on vacation, so I'm filling in for her today. So hopefully we'll still have a good locker room live, even though Margie's not here. So good morning to everyone. All right, so to get things started, we're going to start off doing our monthly drawing for those that earned badges and left comments to say what they learned during that month. So I'm going to share my screen and let's see, how many names do we have? So to just be one spin because we have less than 25. So, all right, guys, well, I'm going to spin and then we will see who the winner is. So, all right. And the winner is Keisha Live. Congratulations, Keisha. So before we jump into the intro, I want to send feedback to Intuit. So if you go into either your sample company to load up QBO, or you can go on our quick link. So everybody with me, go into the QuickBooks Online sample company, and then you will click on this gear icon and then feedback. And then you just type a little message in here. Purchase orders have been messed up for a long time in the sample company. So there's a problem with that with the exercises. People can't complete them. So last time when we sent mass feedback, the issue got fixed. So let's do that again. So you can just type, you can word it however you want on your own, but just put in here, you can just say that purchase orders are not working properly in the sample company. So please fix ASAP. And then you will click the next button, and then that will send your feedback. All right. And then another thing I want to mention before we jump into the intro to the locker room, that there are many upcoming changes to QBO. So I don't know, Joel, I don't know if you're with me today because it was questionable of whether he'd have another obligation. So if you're with me, Joel, otherwise I'll put it in there. There's a link that we're going to drop in the chat to Alicia Katz Pollock. She made the podcast, the unofficial QuickBooks podcast. She made a podcast, but there's a YouTube video also that goes over the new QBO interface. So you guys can check that out to learn all the upcoming changes and everything. She kind of goes through them. So it's a really good video to check out. So I will see, let me see if Joel drops it. If not, I can put it in there. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there and maybe he'll let me know if he's on. So this is the video or the link to the YouTube video. So check that out. It will be helpful. The sample company, I don't think has switched over to the new interface. Some of you guys might be seeing it. And I don't know if all the changes you'll see, but yeah, that's a really good video. So, all right. So now we're going to jump into the locker room intro. So let me go back over here to the locker room. All right. So for those that don't know me, I am Lindsay Key and I'm the Student Success Manager at Acadian. So this is our weekly live stream that we have every Friday at 11 a.m. And it's for those that are members of the QBO Gym locker room. So if you're watching this on YouTube as a replay, come join us. The locker room, that's your spot for hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. And that's what we're all about, is hands-on practice, where you get experience actually doing the work and you learn by doing. So when you join the locker room, you do get a lot of free stuff. So you get our free QBO QuickStart course, and that will cover how to get your QuickBooks Online accountant account. And it explains how that account is different than just like a regular account that a business owner purchases. So you'll learn how to navigate and proper workflows, terminology, and then of course we have hands-on practice exercises. So if you're on the call, then you have that course. And if you don't know how to access it or you don't see it in your Booksmatch, just reach out to us at support@acadian.com. And then you also will have access to over 100 free exercises, and it's probably closer to 150 or more now. So people always ask us, how do you access those? So those were emailed to you also in a welcome email. But if you aren't seeing it, make sure you check your spam, junk, marketing, promotions folders because sometimes it goes there instead of your inbox. And there can be other issues that cause you to not be able to get it. So if you don't see it in those folders, just contact support and we'll look into your account and get it all taken care of. So and you can also access the exercises right here in the locker room. You would just click on this featured tab, or you can click on this featured tile and it will show you. But if you click on the featured tab, then you'll see the welcome to the locker room post, which will be very similar to the email that you got. And you click this see more link, and then you'll see the link to the 100 free exercises right here. So that's another way you can get to them. And then let's see, you also will get access to the free exercise of the week, which is what we will be doing today. And you have to attend these sessions live to be able to get access to the link for the exercise and to get the marketing prompt. So the exercise of the week is part of a paid subscription product called the QBO Gym. So I will drop that link for the QBO Gym in the chat. You can check that out if you don't know what the gym is. So I'm going to drop that in the chat. And then if you want to experience the gym and try it before you buy it, we also have the 5-day gym challenge. So let me also drop that in the chat. All right. So the difference between the gym and the free exercises, sometimes we get questions about that. The exercises that are free are just one-off exercises. So you learn a particular feature of QBO and it doesn't really go beyond that. And then whereas the gym, that gives you monthly exercises and you get to experience being a bookkeeper for a fictitious business owner. And it shows you many different scenarios and some of them build on, each other. And also it kind of goes through the process every month. You do the same thing. So you'll process bank feeds, you send invoices, receive payments, pay bills, send estimates, create purchase orders, reconcile bank accounts, run reports. So lots of good practice there. And you do the same things with a little bit of a twist every month, but you see what it's like to do like a full month of bookkeeping for a client. So also, everyone that does sign up for our courses, including they get that free QBO QuickStart course, you will have a Booksmatch profile. So I will show you my Booksmatch profile. And when you're an active member of the gym, then everything you do in the gym is tracked here. Now, if you're not an active member, this area will be blurred out. And that's fine. You don't have to have the gym to access your courses. We get a lot of questions about that. And all you do is just click on this go to my courses button, and then that will pull up all your courses. So you just won't see this information if you're not, an active member of the gym. So if you do see all these metrics that we track, then it's based on skills that you learned, and it's broken into 10 skill groups. And you can click on any of these little links here, and then that will break it out to show you how you earned those skill points. Okay. And then you can scroll down and this shows you how you compare to everyone else in the gym. And then this is also how like recruiters or bookkeeping firms, different people that use Booksmatch to recruit bookkeepers, they can see this information as well. If you have your open to work toggle turned on. So, and when it looks like this, it's turned off. And when you turn it on, it's blue. And then that's when people that use Booksmatch, they can see your profile, how active you are in the gym, what you're doing, and they can see these metrics. So you want to keep those metrics up. So the different metrics that we measure is knowledge. So that's right here. And that's just the total number of skills that you've verified for the whole time that you've been a member of the gym. Now, the speed, which I completed the exercise of the week, so sometimes you may notice that this doesn't record your progress. So just let us know if it doesn't. For some reason, mine didn't record last week, so that's why it shows poor, because you have to do an exercise within 14 days for that to stay up. So, but I have noticed on occasion, sometimes it won't record it. So, so anyway, the speed is how many skills that you have achieved within a week. So this balances out the people that have been around for a long time and then people that are new. So yeah, because we want to give credit to the people that are working hard that are new. And if you've been around for a long time, you're going to have a lot of skills verified. I've been around since the beginning, so that's why I have so many skills verified. And then your consistency, that will you that will tell you how often you are keeping up and doing something in the gym. So that's why they created the exercise of the week, because those that have completed everything, their consistency wouldn't stay up without the exercise of the week. So yeah, you want to try to keep this in top talent, exceptional talent, because that will put you towards the top of the list whenever recruiters and people are looking there. So all right, so now we're going to talk about the exercise of the week. So it's a separate course, and this is what it will look like, and you'll see it in your Booksmatch if it's unlocked. You have to have earned 250 points in the gym for that course to be unlocked. So when you reach that 250 points, then it'll be in there right with your other courses, and so those that don't have access to it, that's why we're going to share the exercise link with you here in just a few minutes. And so yeah, this is what you'll see. So for those that do have, sorry, that was one of my alarms going off. If you have this course, then you'll see this marketing prompt, the link to the exercise. So you want to click on this link, do the exercise that way instead of the one that we drop in the chat, and then you'll just click this upskilled button, and then that's where it should give you credit in Booksmatch. Like I said last week, it didn't for me, so just let us know if it doesn't, and the developers might have to look into that. So all right, so I'm going to drop the exercise of the week in the chat, and this is going to be a level 1 exercise. So I'm going to drop that in the chat. And all right, I'm not seeing any activity in the chat, so I hope people are still with me. I think so. But anyway, so you can access that link, and then you can, copy and paste that, so you can always do the exercise later, even when it's not on the call. Great. Okay, I'm getting, yep. All right, good. You're still here with me, so that's awesome. But yeah, you can copy that link and then paste it into a browser and bookmark it or save it. And that way you can do it again later. As long as you have that link, you just won't have access to this chat later. So you'll want to copy it if you want to do it at a different time. So, all right, guys. So let's jump into the exercise. So I'll just click on this link, which I already have it pulled up, but all right, so our scenario is Craig just received a $1,200 federal tax refund and deposited that check, as well as the ones he previously received from Cool Cars and Freeman Sporting Goods. And he's going to deposit this into the bank. So how would you record this deposit? So we have two ways, and you'll see the instructions in the exercise is going through your sample company to get to, or going through your QBOA account, sorry, and that will get you to the sample company. So you'll see those directions right here. And then how I usually access it though is I just use our quick link. So I'm going to drop that in the chat. Let me see here. All right, so there's the quick link, and that will just take you right to a sample company, so you don't have to go through your QBOA account. So I already have that pulled up, But if you just click and open that, then you can still then click on the little scribe icon. And what scribe is, that is a Google extension, and that allows you to put the exercise right next to your QBOA account so you don't have to switch back and forth between tabs. So if you don't have scribe installed, then you will have to install it first. And then you should be able to click this little icon, and it used to say guide me, and they took that away, and now it's just this little icon. And you do have to hover over this part of the white box. It's always usually it should be the first white box that you see that is the actual step of something that you're going to do. It won't ever be in these green tip boxes or the red like alerts. It will always be in a white where you're actually going to do an action. So, and you have to kind of hover over it for it to pop up, and then you will click that little icon, and then just ask you to confirm, but this time it didn't. So maybe that's something they got rid of too. But then that will open up the QuickBooks window. If you've already opened it up and logged in like I did, it will just pop up. If not, that's where you'll have to prove you're not a robot or sign into your account if you haven't been signed in. So just depending on how you do it. And then once I get here, I always click on this guide me button and turn this feature off, because if this is on, you have to click next and it will guide you to the next step. Whereas I just like to scroll myself. So I will click that and turn it off. And then as you can see, then I can just scroll through how I want to. I don't have to click the next button. And some people have had trouble when that is turned on, where it doesn't hover over the right part to show you in QBO. And sometimes it's kind of glitchy. So I just turn that off. All right. So let me make sure I've given you guys everything. And I want to put in the chat too how you install and use the scribe. We have it's a scribe exercise that explains how to get it and how to use it. All right. So let me see. I do have a question from Holly. When you're done with the lesson, can you explain what the Booksmatch is? Yeah, I sure can. And remind me if I forget. Let me make myself a note here on paper, and I will do that. Okay. But just drop in the chat and remind me if I get busy and forget, and just get moving along. So, all right. And you guys can still see my screen, okay, right? QBO and the exercises. All right. You didn't miss anything. We're just now jumping into the exercise, just the intro. We did have our drawing and announce a winner. So, but there'll be a replay. So this will be, you'll have a replay of this just like we always do. So, all right. So I put in the chat how to install the scribe exercise if you don't have that. So, all right. So now our scenario, I already read that, but I'll read it again. This is creating a non-customer deposit. So Craig received a $1,200 federal tax refund, and he deposited that check as well as ones that were already in the undeposited funds. So let's see here. We got our QBO pulled up. So Craig is depositing the checks that previously came from Cool Cars and Freeman Sporting Goods. They've been waiting in undeposited funds, so they will show up here. So let's go to the plus new and go to the bank deposit. All right, so here you see the two deposits that were mentioned. And then under select the payments included in this deposit, you're going to click this top checkbox, and that will select all that's listed here. And then next, we'll need to add the refund check from the IRS. So you will do that down here. So under add funds to this deposit, you see that right here in the received from field, you are going to click here, and then you're going to start typing in IRS. And that's not an account that's currently in our chart of accounts. So you will type that in, then you will click on this add new IRS. And then let's see. And then it's important to note that in a real life scenario, this would already be set up as a vendor, because you've already been paying taxes to them in the sample company. However, we need to add it. So you will change this contact type field right here where it says customer. You need to change that to vendor. Okay, and then it already has IRS in there. So you will click save. And then in the account field, and I said chart of accounts, but that's actually like in your vendors list. But all right, so let's see. In the account field, you will type in taxes and licenses, and then you will click on that. And then in the description field, you will type in federal tax return or refund, not return, refund is what is listed here. So, and then in the amount field, you will type $1,200 and just, you don't have to put the dollar sign. So just type it like it shows in the exercise, just 1,200. And then you will click the down arrow and then you will click save and close. And that ends our exercise. So pretty simple. But if you don't do it correctly, it can cause issues. So, and this is a level 1 exercise. So, and then there's a little link here at the end of the exercise. If you want to, learn more, we have our companion course and you can click on that link there. So yeah, guys, that was a pretty short exercise. So let me see here. All right. Now, with the exercise, we have a marketing prompt that we always give. So, and that's in addition to your subscription to the gym. You get all the gym exercises, but then we have the marketing prompts and we are calling them QBO quick tips now. So, but whenever you go through the gym and complete the exercises, then you earn these marketing prompts and they will be at the end of the different sections. So you can click on a link and that will take you to a full page of exercises. So yeah, that's pretty handy because people ask a lot of times people they don't know what to say, and this helps them out to know where you take a skill that you learn and then you can turn it into something that you can post on social media. So if you have the exercise of the week unlocked, you'll see the marketing prompt right here. And I'm going to exit out of my scribe here. So you can copy and paste it right from there. And then I'm going to drop that in the chat for those of you that don't have the course unlocked. So let me drop that in the chat. Okay, I'll post let's see. Christina missed the exercise link. Yep, I will post that again. Let me post the QBO quick tip. All right. And then let me get that exercise of the week link again. Let me go up here. All right. Let me label this. All right. I'm gonna drop that in here again. Okay, there's that. You're welcome, Christina. All right. So yeah, you can use this marketing prompt, copy and paste it, and put it in a template that you make on Canva, make it nice and pretty, and that just kind of makes it stand out more on social media. So, all right, let me see, make sure I'm not missing anything in the chat. All right. And then Margie used to come up with all these marketing prompts herself, just straight up from scratch. And, with ChatGPT becoming more popular and everything, now she uses that and it helps her. And she'll have to kind of tweak it sometimes to make it say, what she wants. But it's a good basis to get. So that's a tip for you guys if you want help coming up with marketing prompts on your own. Use ChatGPT. It is very, very handy. So I will drop in the chat, and this you can then take it into it whenever you open the link. It opens it in your ChatGPT, and I think if you respond, yeah, you'll need to respond on there because I was trying to one time figure out how to keep it in my ChatGPT where I could then go back where Margie has already kind of built up so ChatGPT knows what's going on. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in the chat. But if you respond on this like thread in ChatGPT, that will save it to your chats. And then you can go forward kind of using that to say, hey, come up with a QBO quick tip for this topic or this feature in QBO. And it will kind of use what Margie has built to come up with one. So,
Hi, Lindsay. I did put a question above the quick tip.
uh-huh.
If you could just look at that, please.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, yeah, I'll go back up there. Okay, Anna Marie says, I guess it is just the CPA's preference if they tolerate negative amounts in expense accounts. If they don't want that, do you create an other income account for all refunds? Okay, Yui responded because I'm not sure on that. So let's see. Yui said, it's odd to actually have a negative expense. In fact, we checked that during the diagnostic stage. The refund was posted to reduce the initial expense. So hopefully, does that answer your question, Anna Marie? Because I'm not
Yes,
100% sure on
I'm
that.
I'm
Okay.
fully on board with that thinking, but a previous company where I contracted were just adamant, no negatives, and never mind that it addresses the previous expense. They just didn't want to see it there, and they said it was the CPAs who preferred it that way.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's typical. So I don't know.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yui.
Yes. Thank you, Yui.
I
All
would think,
right.
I would think that the negative would only be if it was like a prior period. Because if the expense came out of it during the same period, it should take it to zero and not be negative. So that may be the reason that they want to have something else, but I've never had anybody tell me not to have a negative account. I mean, it's one of the things I look at when I'm reviewing financials so that I can see if there's something wrong, just kind of a red flag, to look at and make sure everything was entered correctly. But I've never had a CPA tell me absolutely not.
I'm thinking if we put a proper description in there and explains, even say that the expense was in a previous period and when it was, pinpointed, that should deal with it.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you, Jane. Thank you guys for your input and help. Greatly appreciated. All right. So yeah, these marketing prompts. So the one for today, I didn't read it, so I'll read it now. It says not all deposits come from customers. Think owner contributions, refunds, or transfers. Record them correctly in QuickBooks keeps your income from being overstated and your reports accurate. Not sure how to enter a deposit that's not tied to a sale? I've got you. So this is really good to, like I said, put in social media posts, especially LinkedIn, and that will show your expertise. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a second. So then I'm on camera. I've kind of shared my screen the whole time, but um, so so yeah, it's really good to post on social media and it shows your expertise. And then Margie always mentions that we're not a marketing company, but we do get a lot of questions regarding that part of having a bookkeeping business. So Margie does teach the 321 method, and I will put that link to her YouTube video in the chat. All right, so you guys can check that out. And if you need help putting that into practice, then we do have our Getting Clients cohort. So I will put that link in the chat where you can find out more information about that. And the cohort has changed just a little bit. And now there are prerequisites to participate. So you've always had to be level one certified to participate in the cohort. But now you must meet one of the three following criteria, not all of them, but just one. So you must have completed the bookkeeping fast track or year one of the QBO Gym or purchased the cleanup course. So as I said, you don't have to have completed the cleanup course. It's just purchasing it. So it's just one of those three. And that says that on the page on the website and everything. So under the frequently asked questions. So you have all the information there, plus telling you some things you have to put in place before the cohort starts. And we did have the prep work course that was included in the cohort, but now it's not really part of the cohort anymore because we just released our Acadian marketing course. And and the reason why is because again, we have so many students that want that. So it was originally part of the cohort, but now we're able to offer it to more students. So the criteria that for us adding that to your Booksmatch account is that you have purchased the bookkeeping fast track or purchased the QBO gym or purchased the cleanup course. So if you've purchased any of those, you should see that, and it's called Acadian Marketing in your Booksmatch account. Okay. So if you aren't seeing that and you have purchased one of those three, courses of ours, write to support@acadian.com and we'll look into it for you and see why it's not showing up. So, and I will put the link for those courses again if you're interested. Awesome. So Jan says, thank you so much for that course. Awesome. So I'm glad that you have seen it in there. And there was an email that was sent out that hopefully everyone got notifying them if it was added to your account. So I'm putting the courses that you have to have purchased to have that added to your account. So you guys can check those out if you want, to purchase any of those. And then we also have study hall. So that's 2 times a day, Monday through Friday. And that just helps you with accountability. It's like a co-working session. So we set our intentions in the beginning and then we go on mute and start knocking out our to-do list. So the majority of the time we are on mute. And then we come back together at the end and celebrate our progress, answer questions that people may have, share things with the group. So I'll drop a link to that if you're interested in checking that out. And there is a small fee. So it's like $27, I think, for the month. So you get 40 hours for the month of, the study hall sessions. So it's just a small fee for that. And then, all right, so if you have any questions, you can drop those in the chat. And then I'm going to share my screen again, and I will go back to Booksmatch and address Holly's questions. So let me do that. Let me share my screen again. All right, so all of you guys, you can see my Booksmatch screen, right? I'm gonna make sure I'm on the right one. But to explain what Booksmatch is, all right, good, thank you. Yeah, to explain what Booksmatch is, this is your dashboard. Anytime that you sign up for anything with Acadian, so if you join the locker room, now if you just request the everything doc and that's the only thing that you've ever like requested or signed up for from Acadian, you won't be prompted to create a Booksmatch account. But if you join the locker room, then the first email you get will direct you to creating a Booksmatch account. That's the place where you will access all your courses. That should be how you are getting to your courses. So that's like the first thing you do is create that Booksmatch account. You click on the link in the email and it will have you set up a password and then you'll have access to it and you won't have to you shouldn't have to sign in every time. Once you sign in, I just bookmark it and then that will take me to mine. So, and then what, so I mean, even if you aren't, like I mentioned, signed up for the gym, you still use Booksmatch. You can still go to your courses, you can still upload your LinkedIn profile, your alignable profile. You can upload your certification certificates and you can fill out your reviews and then the basic info where you put it's kind of like a little resume on there. So now if you aren't a member of the gym, you will not have the option to open to work. And what that does is give you the ability to be seen, like I said, by recruiters, anybody on kind of the other end that uses it to look at, all the bookkeepers that are in there, all of our students. So yeah, if you're able to open your toggle to work, do it because you will get noticed more, and they're constantly working on more things to make that part of Booksmatch more beneficial, but it's a work in progress. Um, but yeah, so I mean that pretty much covers what Booksmatch is, Holly. Did that answer your questions, or do you have any specific questions about it? You can share your link to Booksmatch. And I'm not for sure if you aren't a member of the gym, I think you might still be able to share that link, and you would just click this up here, and then you can like put that on your LinkedIn profile. And I believe people that can then click on it and see even this stuff. But I haven't tried that out because I've always been a member of the gym. So good. Okay, that does answer your questions, Holly. Awesome. All right. So yeah, that Booksmatch is pretty useful. I like that all of our courses are in one place, and they are working on revamping Booksmatch. So stay tuned for that. There'll be some changes coming to it, and it's good changes. So yeah, that's in the near future. So all right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. All right. Okay, guys. Well, that is all that I have for you today. That covers everything. And do you guys have any questions? It was a short live stream today because Margie's not here. So, but you'll get some time back in your Friday. So, all right. All right, guys. Well, I'm not seeing any questions. Let's see here. I want to make sure I don't miss out on anything. All right. Yes, you guys enjoy your weekend. And I'm pretty sure that I covered everything I was supposed to. So make sure that you do send that feedback. If you didn't while I was doing it, live, make sure continue to send feedback. Yeah, the last time me and Margie were amazed because whenever everybody on the call sent in feedback, I can't remember what the issue was. You guys might remember, but then it was fixed. So that was pretty cool. So Margie's like, we need to do that again. And so yeah, purchase orders have not worked for a while. And then another issue is the single time activity, I think is what it is whenever you're putting in hours and things. One of the exercises, or maybe multiple exercises, um, you haven't been able to complete that. And Margie said that the sample company, it's like notorious for having the time either missing and then it'll come back and then missing. And so yeah, that, and then I can't remember the other thing. A couple of things on there will go in and out different times. So chart of accounts, yeah, that was a new one that was broke. It had never happened before, like at least that I know of using it, but the chart of accounts was just completely missing. So, and that was what we reported on. I couldn't remember what it was that we sent feedback in, but yeah, that was a major issue for sure. So all right, guys. Well, all right. If we don't have any more questions, I thank all you guys for joining me, and I hope that you found this useful today and beneficial. So, all right, guys. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss any questions. Let's see. I want to go back. Let me go back and see if I missed any comments before we end. I'm going to scroll back up here to the top and post them again. If for some reason I didn't get your question and missed it, just post it again. Let's see. I saw a question about the gym. I believe it was. So Ezra asked, let me put this up on the screen. It'd take me a minute here to get I'm going to switch to this, and first I got to find it in my eCam here. So let me go up here and I will put this on the screen. Okay. So I got to move it over. Got to adjust this. So Ezra asks, let me spotlight this so people can see it. Okay. So Ezra asks, when you purchase the QBO Gym monthly, is that for the whole year? Well, if you sign up for the monthly, then you will have it as long as you are paying that monthly fee. You can always cancel, and when you do cancel the gym, some people are a little confused by this. You do not continue to have access to even what you've completed. It's a subscription-based product. So if you cancel, you lose access to it. And you have to keep paying monthly to continue to have access to any of the months. Now, there is an option to pay for the whole year. And then, and it's like $7.99. But if you complete the 5-day gym challenge, there's discounts for the monthly and the yearly subscription fee. So that's a good way to get it cheaper. Complete that 5-day challenge, and then at the end, sign up for it. So, but yeah, either one of those, if you cancel, if you pay for the whole year, then you'll keep it for the whole year because you've already paid. And then if you were to like cancel, it would just end at the end of that year. So yeah. Let's see. Okay, and so there was some answers in the chat, but then there was another question. But when you start monthly, no, you are not locked in. So hopefully that answered that. If you sign up for the monthly, you just pay month by month. And if you cancel, say you pay and then you want to cancel mid-month, you'll have it through the end of that month that you paid for. And then it will cancel and you won't have access. So, all right. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other questions. Let's see. Tags aren't work. Irma said tags are not working. So let me remove that off the screen and go back to this. So tags is another thing, which tags, that is something that they were going to get rid of. And then they ended up, it's still, any new accounts will not have the ability to have tags, but like previous accounts before they made that change will still have the ability to have tags. That's the last I knew that was kind of happening and to do with, the whole tag situation. So, let's see. Yep. So some in the chat are saying, wondering, didn't they discontinue tags? And then they said, or, they're saying that they'll discontinue them, but then I think that is the latest. So, okay. And then Joanne has a question. Let me find that. I have two different areas that show up for chat. So let me find that in the chat and I will put it up on the screen. Let me see here. Got to hunt for it now. Okay, so let me go back to this and add it. So Joanne asks, what if you're done with year 2 and there's no more exercises? That's one thing I was going to ask Margie about because we are working on some changes to the gym. And I know there are several that are finished with both years. And the gym is going to be revamped. So I'm not 100% sure on the changes that are coming with that. That's not really my area of what I do. So, but I hear, as things come. But so that is a good question. You can always put it on pause and then that will keep your progress. So if you're completed with everything and you don't find it useful to go back and do exercises again, you can put it on pause for $10 a month and you just contact support and we can do that. And what that does is keep your progress, because if you cancel the gym and then sign back up later, you'll have to start all over and do everything again. So that's an option, and that's $10 a month. So it is cheaper than paying for the monthly. And until there's more content in there that you can do. Some people I know go back and complete it again, or they want the access so they can go back and look when they are, dealing with the client situation and it was covered in the gym. So yeah, that's kind of the answer for now of kind of your options of what you could do. But there are changes coming. I'm not for sure when that will be completely rolled out. So Margie will update us, as it comes. But yeah, so let's see. Okay, we have another question. Let's see here. Remind us, where do we find, let's see here, I'm gonna put that up on the screen. Beth says, remind us, where do we find the 5-day challenge? I will drop that in the chat again, Beth. I'm gonna reply to your comment on here, and then let me get that link here, and I will put that in the chat again. Yeah, and the 5-day challenge, it covers the first month of the gym, which is February, and you will get like a section. It's kind of divided over the 5 days. You'll get an email and it will be unlocked little bits at a time for you to complete. So some of them you may have to like go back and do day one whenever day two's unlocked because it does kind of flow together. But the way you can look at that is that just gives you more practice, of doing the things. So it's kind of beneficial to have to do them over again because it solidifies your knowledge of what you're doing. So let me find that link again here. Okay, here we go. Let me copy and paste that for you. So, and that's a good way, like I said, to get the discount, and you can see with the gym what it's all about before you buy. So that's really handy. All right, so let me see. Okay, so let me find this. And here we have another question. So I'm going to add this one. Gabriel says, if we cancel and then come back, okay, yeah, I answered that, but does it save our progress? So yeah, put it on pause if you want your progress saved, $10 a month. So it's just a small fee, and I know it's still a monthly fee, and sometimes that's even hard to come up with when you have expenses, but if you want your progress saved, that's the way you want to do it. So yeah, and then let's see. Okay, let's put this one up. Charlotte asks, let's see, how do I get the replays for the bookkeeping live sessions if you bought the course, no longer receiving replay? Okay, are you talking about Fast Track Live, Charlotte? Is that what you're talking about? I think that might be what you're talking about. Those are in your course. Okay, yeah. Charlotte says yes. Those are in your Fast Track Live course, and you will see. I can share my screen here and then show you what that looks like. Let me go share my screen here in just a second. I'll pull up that course, but the replays are in the modules. You'll see a replay module and they're listed by month. So you should be seeing that if you go into your course. So do you go into your course and not see those, Charlotte? Or because that's how the replays has always been. They've never been posted anywhere else. So let me get to that one. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this screen here. So this is where the replays are, and it's divided by month. So like July's replays, you'll click on that, and then they're all right here. So you just click on it and that will play. And I try to include links if there's any links that were mentioned in during the live. So, and then these are, upcoming lives. They haven't happened yet, so they'll be posted thereafter. So hopefully that answers that for you. Okay, all right, so let me go back through the chat here and see. All right. Okay, so let's add this. Let me go over to here. Let me add this one. All right, so we have a question. I'm sorry I missed the answer about the purchase of the QBO Gym. Once you enter with a monthly payment, does it automatically get extended to the next month, or do we need to sign up again next month? No, it's a recurring charge. So until you cancel, you'll be charged that every month. So you'll want to go in and cancel if you don't want it charged. But otherwise, yeah, it'd just be automatic, as you sign up. And you'll get a reminder email also telling you like, it's coming up, it's going to be charged on this date for the next month, just so, to keep you aware. So, all right. So I think, let me remove that off there. All right, guys. Well, I think that covers all the questions. Did I forget anyone? Did I look over anything? If I didn't, just post it again. I think that I looked through there and saw everything. All right, guys. Well, if any questions that I missed, or if you think of any that you didn't post in the chat, just write to support and I'll get back to you there. Me or Anthony, we both are in support. So, all right. Well, thank you. Jan says, great job. Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, if you guys join study hall, you'll see me again this afternoon. And on today's Friday, so the schedule kind of changes with study hall. So and Margie does a Monday live, and also you can see the schedule on our This Week at Acadian, which is in the locker room and it's pinned to the featured section. That's updated every week, so you can see what's happening this week, whether we're having workshops or anything specials put on there, and then, just our normal things. So today is, oh, I think it paused there. Today is Friday, so our afternoon session will be 3 p.m. Eastern time today. So join me for study hall. If you have study hall, jump on. If you've never been on there, jump on to see what it's about. So yeah, the people that attend regularly, they really love it and I enjoy it and we get a lot done. So all right, guys. Well, if I don't see you again, then enjoy your weekend. Have a great, relaxing weekend. And I look forward to when we get to chat again. Oh, what's the link? Iris for study hall. Is that what you're wondering about? Let me post that in the chat. Okay. And if you're signed up for it already, the link to join the call is in your course. Just like the Fast Track Live, on the homepage, you'll see a link and that will join you to the Zoom meeting. You just click on that link at the times that we have it. And then if you aren't already signed up, then let me grab that link here. Let me look here. Okay. Grabbing that to put in the chat. All right. Yeah, we have a good time in study hall, so check it out. Even though we're on mute most of the time, but we have, at the beginning, we have just a little bit of discussion. And then at the end, if, like I said, if people have questions or anything, and sometimes Jane's on there and Patina, those are two that they help answer like bookkeeping questions if people have them. So and then also we have like a document that's in your course that is for student shared resources. So I update that when people mention helpful things in study hall. I update that and yeah, so people can go on there and look at different things, and it's not affiliated with Acadian. It's just resources that people have mentioned, whether it's groups or, links to different tools that they use to help their workflows and everything. So yeah, that's real handy. So yeah, if you guys want to join, I'd love to have you in there with me. So, all right, guys. Well, again, enjoy your weekend, and I look forward to when we get to chat again. All right, guys. Bye-bye.